Tommy Egan, one of the main characters from the Power universe, is known for his volatile, impulsive, and often reckless approach to the drug game, especially when compared to his best friend and partner, James "Ghost" St. Patrick, who was always the brains of their operation. When Ghost was around, Ghost was strategic, calm, and always thought several moves ahead. He balanced out Tommy's explosiveness with careful planning and a focus on building a legitimate future. Tommy, on the other hand, was the muscle, the enforcer who wasn't afraid to get his hands dirty but often acted on emotion, which sometimes put their business at risk. After Ghost's departure. When Ghost was killed, Tommy was left to fend for himself. Without Ghost's steadying influence, Tommy initially struggled, continuing his reckless ways. But as he started operating solo, especially when he moved to Chicago in Power Book 4, Force, he realized he couldn't survive just on brute force and intimidation. Chicago's criminal underworld is ruthless, and Tommy found himself surrounded by new players, more organized gangs, and a different set of rules. Stepping his game up in Chicago. Strategic thinking. He had to learn to be more strategic, thinking ahead rather than just reacting. He started forming alliances, playing rival gangs against each other, and exploiting weaknesses, skills he picked up from working with Ghost. Leadership. Tommy had to take on a leadership role, making decisions not just for himself but for those who depended on him. He couldn't just be the wild card anymore, he had to be a boss. Adapting. Chicago forced Tommy to adapt, become more cunning, and understand the politics of the streets on a deeper level. This evolution made him more dangerous but also more respected. Summary. Tommy's journey after Ghost's death is all about growth. He was messy and reckless before, but Chicago tested him and forced him to evolve. He still has that wild streak, but now it's blended with a sharper, more strategic mind, making him a true force to be reckoned with. Before Ghost's departure, Tommy was the enforcer, the muscle. He handled problems with aggression, often acting on impulse. His loyalty to Ghost was unwavering, but Ghost was always the one with the vision, the long-term plans, and the ability to navigate both the streets and the legitimate world. Tommy's reckless decisions sometimes put them in hot water, but Ghost would usually find a way to fix things or rein him in. After Ghost was gone. With Ghost out of the picture, Tommy was forced to face the realities of the game alone. Suddenly, there was no one to clean up after his mistakes or strategize for him. He had to become the boss, not just the enforcer. Stepping up in Chicago. When Tommy moves to Chicago, the stakes are even higher. He's an outsider in a city with its own established criminal networks, the Irish, the Serbs, CBI, and more. He can't just muscle his way through.